and I don't say this in a selfish way, but that love, and I'll kind of add to this later, but that love originates from self, not in an egoic, prideful way, but because the kingdom of God is within. You are the temple. And so if you're looking for love, that's why you can never find it in that car or that person or that whatever object. It all starts from within, and that is then reflected. That projection of love is then reflected back to us from our external environment. And I think then that is an aspect of the New Age movement that I think that they get, at least to some extent, correctly.
On the idea of self and the love starting within, I think there's a lot of experiential reality that I think people go through that where they are looking for something outside and they're missing something within, and then because they're missing something within, they're never going to be satisfied with what's outside. But I think I've moved away from the of talking about like the capital S self, the idea of the higher self or whatever it is. I think just choosing the term self was a mistake whenever that happened because it just causes a lot of issues. Like we had the term God, we can just say God. Um, but the and I was actually just reading that uh, in an introduction to a book of Eastern philosophy, they were using the word self to translate Atman, which is sort of like the tradition that had developed. And they were saying, since we've done this already, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call it self. But the term in the East, at least in Hindu, the term Atman does not mean self. So it doesn't have the same connotations as they chose there. So it's interesting that I don't know how that first originated, but I think it causes problems because you're like, oh, myself, well, that's me. But then when you're talking about your higher self, you're not talking about me because those there's just going to be some conflation and it's gonna cause issues. So um, and that's why you had to clarify and say, well, I'm not saying this from an egoic sense. So I would say uh, I think the traditional answer is just better. We can love and love in the world and perform the turn your other cheek and uh, the meekness in the world because God loved us first, because God's love initiated, because God's love reached out to us, that was bestowed and extended. And the idea of self sort of misses that because while yes, it's not external, it's also not intrinsic to yourself, right? It's something. Love pre-exists. That's part of the first part. Love is the foundation of the game. So we don't create love, and we don't conjure love or reinvent love. Like love is there and is given and reaches out to us, and then, um, but it usually is an internal process. We commune with that and share in that and then go out. So I think I find that some of those caveats just fall away as we abandon the new age words as well, even though some of the experience of what they're trying to talk about is true. It actually just works better to say God is love and God loved us first, and finding God within, then we uh, can find him without.